see you. My name is Miri. I moved to London in 2006 and I have a confession to make. So when I moved here, no one wanted to hire me for any job in the UK for nearly 6 months. Now, I'm going to say it again because I know that I look normal, right? And everything, but really, no one would hire me for any job in the UK. This was after, in reality, me sending thousands of applications, okay? I sat down in hundreds of interviews, but still no one hired me until one person did, obviously. And this was the seed that planted my desire to set up my own global recruitment firm that helped international companies to hire the best talents everywhere on the globe. The company has been around since 2007. We employ 70 people around the globe. Actually, one of my first clients is here, Ilana. I'm very excited to have you here, so thank you for coming. And I came here to tell you what one should do in order to hire. Let's talk about your first man on the ground. Who do you think it should be? Question. Sorry?
You.
So mainly, most startups, technological startups that start their operation in the UK would have a sales operation. Now, if you're heavily invested or have deep pockets, the reasonable thing to do is to hire a VP sales that would immediately hire salespeople. But in reality, most startups need to be more cautious, and they need to bring a person who would actually need to be an individual contributor and bring business. So my advice to you today is don't bring a person who is currently in a VP sales capacity to become an individual contributor. He may tell you that he's okay with it, he can do it, but in reality, it's going to be very difficult for him. So take a person who is eager, who is motivated, who is currently an individual contributor, someone who can really step up the ladder and become the VP sales that you want them to be. So we are a startup, right? And we know that we need to have someone who has some kind of entrepreneurship flair or orientation. What does that mean? It means that that person was involved in a startup before, worked for a small company, had a project in university, or even if in high school, or even if the person has his own gig while he's working at the moment, that means he has some kind of a flair for entrepreneurship, and that's the person you want in your team. So startups life, it's all about ups and downs. We all know that. Everyone is seeing that even now. So we need someone who has some tolerance for ambiguous situations. So let me give you an example. For instance, you just set up your office in the UK, no legal entity, right? So you start with one-man show, and you don't have an entity. So the person would actually need to invoice you to get paid. If someone finding it difficult and it's a problem for them, now that's a red flag for me, because it means that it's very hard for him to cope with uncertain situations, and you don't want that person in your team. A lot of startups want big names, okay? They are hunting for the big brands, big corporates. For me, it's a big no if you're a startup, right? So let's say you are in a CRM business, okay? So you're targeting a person from Salesforce. Well, Salesforce as a platform, it's selling itself, okay? Right? Who doesn't know Salesforce? You want someone who is able to go into the window when the door is shut, right? You want someone who works for an unknown company, unknown territory, who will actually hit the ground running from day one. The fact that he works in Salesforce and has 20 salespeople and operation behind him doesn't do the trick. You want the person who is eager, motivated, hungry to work for you and open all the doors that you can possibly have. Let's talk a little bit about stability. So if you have a good salespeople, trust me, you do whatever you can to keep them, okay? So if a salesperson moves very frequently from one job to another, it's not a good sign. They may tell you a very, very good story for every move that they have, but don't buy it. It's bullshit usually. Usually good salespeople are very stable, so definitely go for a stable person from their CV. Try to make sure, even if they are telling you such a good story, that it's a real story. But the good ones are stable ones, so choose a stable person. So many founders that we're working with would always say or think that HR is, probably not their core function. that it's not something that you should invest time in and money in. But in reality, the market is still very competitive. If you're planning to grow your company, you're actually damaging it if you don't take attention, you don't pay attention to your staff, to the retention, to the growth, to the promotion. So it's not nice to have. That's your bread and butter. Now, in terms of amount of people, so HR, unlike sales, is very common to have as a service. Okay, you will find very decent and good HR people would be your HR dedicated person, even on part-time and contractual basis. So you can engage with someone from day one, okay? And by the time you have around 20 people, you can have your own person, even part-time, but definitely have someone there. If you are, a corporate global company like Monday, for instance, let's say someone from Israel is now coming to deal with the HR here in the UK. So the most important thing for you is to understand and to make sure that that person knows how things are done locally here in the UK. Okay, super, super important. And the last thing is that HR, it's not recruitment, okay? It's a different profession. HR people are not headhunters. They can successfully run recruitment process. They can sit down in interviews, of course, but most of them, they don't like to do recruitment more than 40% of their time. So if they do, Adi would agree with me, she's an HR person. If they do, and they're very good in recruitment, they're probably lacking the other side. So you need to think with yourself, what is it that you want your HR person to do? And if it's recruiting, make sure you bring a damn good recruiter, although he's lacking the other things. But if you are, you need to work with headhunters in order to fulfill the other positions. But usually 40% of the time, they can do it even if they hate it, right, Adi? Right. Would you agree? Okay. So I would like to surprise you, okay? We talk about economic downturn and things are slowing down and everything, but the job market is still very much employee-led, okay? Especially in technological startups and companies, okay? It's still very competitive, the competition is on, it's high, and you need to make sure you're competitive as well. So, who are the best candidates, in my opinion, are passive candidates, working talents, people that are currently working. Those are your best people. Why is that? Well, companies would do whatever they can to retain their best people, even in hard times. So I know I tend to generalize, and it is a generalization. I know that they're very good, even here, very, very good people who are currently unemployed, okay, for justified reasons. But in most cases, you want to headhunt them. So how do you do it? So obviously you can go for a professional headhunter like us, but I would like to give you 3 important tips if you want to kind of DIY, to do it yourself. And those are 3 things that I'm sure not everyone is doing, and they're very, very important for the success of the process. So first, communication. So imagine a situation which is still on, that most of the candidates, your talents, they're being bombarded with messages. Why would they answer your message? Why would they even engage or listen to you? You need to be special. You need to be original. You need to be different. You need to research them, tailor-make the message, and make sure that when they do see the message from you, they would answer it. They would engage with you somehow. And that's the most important thing. Don't just send, one message to 30 people and expect them to answer. They won't. So you have to really hunt them, okay? Even from your own company. The second thing is to get referrals from candidates. So let's say you spoke with 20 people, right? Not all of them would be a good fit for you, or that you will not fit them, right? So, and they know other people that went to uni with them, that worked with them in other places. So feel free to offer them some kind of reward that will help them to remember. It's all of a sudden who they know. And it's working really well because they're in the network, they know other people. So it's really, really helpful. The last but not least is cold calling. So there is a misspelling there, sorry. So basically, cold calling means that you get people's phone numbers. There are tons of apps that you can add to LinkedIn, and it's all GDPR compliant. And you get people's phone numbers, whether it's their personal phone number, their mobile phone number, and you can just call them, okay? People will be shocked. Some of them will be mad at you, I'm not saying, but a lot of them would be interested, they would be intrigued. You kind of catch them off guard, and it will help you to build your candidate pipeline if you're going to do it on your own. So let's say you find them Mr. Perfect candidate. You want them to engage with you. You want them to start working with you. Now you need to work hard because you need to convince them that you are the best thing for them. So how do you do it? So first of all, people are more motivated to do a job when it means that they're being promoted, when the job that they're after is better. So when you do target candidates, make sure you target candidates that for them, it's a step up in their career. They will be super motivated, eager, want to do the job for you. So make sure that that's the people you're choosing. Okay, we're between Jewish here, right? Let's talk about money. So many founders that I work with, what do they say? They tell me, Miri, well, I don't want someone who cares only about the money. Really? So, let me tell you a story, okay? And it's real. So, I am working on an app that will dramatically change the recruitment world, okay? And I'm inviting you, everyone, to join me. But I'm willing to offer you 50% of what you're making now. Who would join me? No one hand raised, okay? Okay, not even one. No one is joining me because it's 50%. So you have to be, in order to get good people, you need to be competitive in salary, benefits, and conditions, everything. And of course, bonuses. Meaning, so people want to feel meaningful, and that's even more possible in a startup. So make sure you explain them how bigger, the bigger picture, the role that they play in your startups, how important they are, as compared to if you work for a large corporate and they're just playing a small part. So if you explain them to them and they will feel meaningful, again, they feel that they're doing something important, they will stay. So everyone likes a good story, right? So when you speak to investors, when you speak to potential clients, you speak with a lot of enthusiasm about what you do, about what you are. Make sure you maintain the same story, the same enthusiasm, the same spark when you speak to candidates, okay? They are your stakeholders, and it's very, very important. So, if there is one thing I would like you to remember from my presentation today, is this. It's hire by personality and not by previous experience. So it's really, really important. I would like to repeat it. Hire by personality and not previous experience. When I say that, I don't mean that you should hire a technician to become a salesperson, okay? But if you're selling software, you're in cyber, okay? You can sell, you can have a salesperson coming from another SaaS platform who is not cyber, someone who's a door opener, someone with the right personality. For me, it's a much better match than someone who comes from your field, cyber. He has 20 people in his book of business. What happens when the book of business is over? You want a person that knows what to do when the connections are over. That's the person you want to bring. And I would like to give you an example. So, meet Jessica Jones. Jessica is originally from Croatia. She likes photography. She has great sense of humor. Up until 2017, she was a salesperson in Marriott, the large hotel chain. So, in a very complicated headhunting process, my business partner, Oded, and myself, we found her. We had an interview with her. We immediately fell in love. And we thought that she has the key personality to become a very successful recruiter. Now, we knew that she has no experience whatsoever in recruitment with candidates, with clients, but we had this feeling that she can be a great recruiter because of her personality. So we decided to hire her, and we did. And it was a huge success, okay? 1 year later, Jessica became one of the leading global recruiters in our team. And today, which is 5 years later, she's a director in our company. She's leading a team of over 10 international recruiters. Obviously, completely changed her financial situation and being a very successful manager and a huge success just from personality. So I'm a great believer in that, and I hope you will remember it. So you need to get the best out of your recruitment firm. So the Beatles once said that the love you make is equal to the love you take. So, love them, make sure you treat them as your business partners. That means I will tell you exactly what. So recruiters likes to make money, okay? How do they do it? When they place a candidate in your company. So if you want to engage with them and you want them to give them a good feeling, they have other priorities, make sure you give them the feeling that they have a chance to place with you, okay? In that case, they will kick ass for you. And that's where you want them to be. So, for instance, about the relationship with them. So in most cases, you have an HR person who deals with a recruiter, but it's very important. I see another client of mine, Ran, who is not an HR person, and we've dealt with him directly, which we always do. We never take a position unless we have direct contact with the hiring manager. It's very, very important for the success of the project because you need to make a personality match, okay? The person needs to understand, who you need to understand who you're matching to. So you need to know the people behind the scene, not just the HR. It's very important. Also, give them feedback. Make sure that you are not kind of wiping them out. Don't let them work for free. Offer them like exclusivity or a down payment. They're committed. Make sure you're committed to the process. If you are an international company, it's always nice to work with another international company who can help you everywhere in the globe. Like us, we operate in 70 countries, and it just helps because you have one-stop shop for your services. So I would like to talk about what happens after the recruitment, and that's my last slide. You need to retain your staff, okay? You invest a lot of money, especially in us, to recruit them, and not just, but you need to retain them. And as I said, we've been around for like 15 years, and most of the people that work with us stay. And I really, really don't take it for granted. It's actually quite amazing. People stay with us for many, many years. They bring their family and friends, and it's truly, truly amazing. And how do we do it? So I'm actually talking from our experience. So the most important thing is that one size doesn't fit all, okay? It's like kids. Do you have kids? Who has kids here, right? So you don't treat your kids in the same way, right? Different people have different needs. It also goes around with gifts, okay? Let's say you have a budget for gifts. Of course, we give vouchers on major holidays, but on top of that, we give gifts regardless of things, depends on what happens to the employees. If he bought a new dog, his daughter is getting married, her daughter is getting married, she just bought a new house, whatever, and we decide to treat them. It's a personal gift. It's not one gift or just a budget that we decide on. It's really, really personal. So I would like to talk about the triangle, which we offer to people, and I believe that's the key. So we talked about salary, you pay competitive, but then we offer two things that doesn't cost you money and are very important, okay? One, trust and flexibility. You need to make sure you trust your people. We give them deadlines, we give them objectives, but then we don't care what they're doing with their time. If people are working from anywhere, they can work from Greece, and we never say no if someone is asking for a holiday, okay? He doesn't need even to ask. He's saying, I'm going on a holiday. It's never a good time. It's never a good time to be on holiday. We manage it somehow. People have their needs, but as long as they do what they need to do and they deliver, then it's working well. Recognition, again, for free. People like to be valued. They want to be appreciated. They want to feel that the manager sees them. So, congratulate them, show them that you appreciate them, really say it. And it gives them a really, really good feeling, and it's really hard for them later on to change. So I think the triangle of those three things is the key for keeping someone happy, engaged, motivated, and I'm done. So that was me. If you're looking to hire people everywhere on the globe, feel free to contact me. This is my details, and hope you enjoy. Thank you.